All right, get ready for this because a massive partnership was just announced that could completely reshape our cities and how we get around. Nvidia and Uber are joining forces, and they're making a groundbreaking play to win the self-driving car race. And trust me, the scale of what they're planning is absolutely staggering. Just take a look at this number, 100,000. Let that sink in for a second. In the super high-stakes world of autonomous vehicles, a number this big, well, it can only mean one thing. That's right, 100,000 robotaxis. Now, this isn't just another small-scale pilot program. This was announced on October 28, 2025, and it is a massive, all-in bet aimed squarely at the current leaders, like Waymo and Tesla. The goal? To build the world's largest Level 4 mobility network, basically from scratch. And, as NVIDIA's own CEO Jensen Huang put it, this whole thing is about turning what was once science fiction into our everyday reality. I mean, that's the level of ambition we're talking about. But to pull that off, they first have to solve a huge industry-wide problem. And that problem, it comes down to one simple word: trust. Right now, both the public and the regulators are, let's be honest, deeply skeptical of self-driving cars, and for some pretty good reasons. So before you can build a massive fleet, you first have to build confidence. And we really don't have to look far for a pretty scary cautionary tale. I mean, we all remember Cruise, right? Back in October 2023, one of their cars dragged a pedestrian. It was a horrific incident, and it was made so much worse when the company gave false reports to regulators. By December of 2024, after burning through more than $10 billion, GM just shut the whole thing down. It's just a stark reminder of how fast all this can fall apart. And the whole Cruise fiasco just reinforces this feeling people have. In fact, if you look at the data from Pew Research, a staggering 63% of Americans say they would not ride in a driverless car. So public trust isn't just low, it's pretty much the single biggest wall standing in the way of adoption. So, what's at the very heart of this distrust? It's what engineers call the black box problem. Basically, the AI makes a critical, maybe even life-or-death decision on the road, but nobody, and I mean nobody, not even the people who built it, can fully explain why it made that choice. And that is a terrifying idea. It's the problem that NVIDIA says it's going to solve. And this is exactly where NVIDIA is making its move. They're convinced they have the solution, a totally new kind of AI, an explainable AI, that can turn that scary, opaque black box into a much more transparent gray box. Okay, so here's the breakthrough. A traditional AI might use what's called a chain of thought. It might just say it's slowing down because of traffic. Fine. But NVIDIA's new model uses a chain of causation. It explains its reasoning with clear cause and effect. I am going to slow down and change lanes left because there's a moped at that red light and the left lane is empty. You see the difference? The car isn't just acting, it's telling you its logic. The model that does this is called alpamayo R1, and it's a potential game changer. It is the industry's first open-source model of its kind. It creates that gray box transparency, so for the first time, engineers can actually go in and diagnose errors. And maybe most importantly, it's fast. We're talking 99 millisecond latency, which is more than fast enough to make these explainable decisions in real time on the road. And of course, all this incredible software needs some serious muscle to run on. It runs on the new Hyperion 10 platform, which is, well, it's basically a supercomputer on wheels. It's packing over 4,000 teraflops of processing power, which can turn any vehicle it's put into a level 4 ready machine. But this new strategy from Nvidia and Uber, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's entering a really high-stakes race where the competitors have very, very different ideas about how to win. So the competitive landscape is really split into three main philosophies. First, you've got Tesla. They're all in on a vision-only level 2 system that they sell directly to consumers. Then you have Waymo. They operate their own private level 4 fleet, and it's loaded with a whole suite of different sensors. Nvidia and Uber, they're playing a totally different game. They're creating an open platform, a standard system that any car maker can use. They don't want to build the car. They want to become the Android of autonomous vehicles. So what does the road ahead actually look like? I mean, a goal of 100,000 cars is one thing, but how are they actually planning to get there? And what's the ultimate prize they're all chasing? Okay, so here's the plan. It's a multi-year, multi-partner rollout. It all kicks off in the San Francisco Bay Area in late 2026 with SUVs from Lucid. Then it scales up in a big way in 2028 with vehicles from Stellantis. And from there, they keep building toward that 100,000 vehicle target with a bunch of different car makers. So it's a gradual but absolutely massive deployment. So why? Why go through all this trouble? Why build this incredibly complex network? Well, the prize is almost hard to comprehend. The autonomous ride-hailing market is projected to be worth $5 trillion by 2030. The stakes just could not be higher. And you can bet Wall Street is taking notice. When the news of this partnership broke, both Uber and Nvidia's stocks rallied. Major analysts at places like Bank of America and S&P Global have signaled some serious confidence. They see this strategy as something that could unlock enormous value. So even with all the challenges, investors seem to really believe in the plan. Which, leaves us with one final crucial question. In a race against these closed private systems like Tesla and Waymo, is Austin becoming the android for everybody else's cars, the ultimate checkmate? Well, that is the $5 trillion question, and it's one that's going to be answered on our roads in the years to come.